Okay, I gotta do this video. I did not want to do this video, but I gotta fucking do this video. There was somebody who on one of my shorts put work for subs because I put at the end of the video, now that I got your attention, subscribe to my channel. And it fucking angers me because of one reason and one reason only. And I actually made a comment back to this person about this. I said that I do. And I said, do you say this to every YouTuber who says in a video, like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell? Or is it somebody just like me? And the reason why I said it is because of people that are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and they're women who are stick fucking thin with zero brains, zero personality. The only thing they are famous for is either who they screw or the fact that they can stuff an entire makeup kit in a Juicy Couture bag about the size of my cell phone. And you know what? I'm angry because I do work for this. And my subscriber count in the last month has shot up by 15. I actually had a thing, and if you subscribed to my social medias, which are all in the description, people, you would know that a lot of my stats went up. Like, I had over 10,000 views within the last couple of years. I mean, my lifetime views have gone up to about 10,000. And I've been doing this channel. Well, I started the channel 2013 with little videos here and there, but I started getting more and more during the pandemic because I was bored as fuck. And you know what? I almost gave up on this channel. I talked about this a few times. I almost gave up on this channel because of a church I went to where the spiritual director there, she basically made it seem like as if because I was frustrated about the fact that my content gets buried a lot, that maybe I should just quit the damn channel, when the reality is that this church, they have a YouTube channel and they are way more pathetic than me. In fact, they're so pathetic that their Google reviews, they only have like one written Google review. There's like 2 ratings on it. There's a 5-star and a 1-star, but their Google review that has like a written review, you're gonna laugh at this one when I tell you. But it's funny. But they have a Google review, which is, I can't believe I'm going to tell you, but they have a Google review where it's written by, get this, kids, the pastor's wife, and she gave it 5 stars. Of course she's going to give it 5 stars. She's married to the fucking pastor. And you know what? I've been looking, and it seems like they got rid of their fucking YouTube channel. But you know what? They didn't even do a fucking thing with that channel. Really, they didn't. Because I just went to try to search for the channel because I knew they had a YouTube channel, because I wanted to help them with getting more of a presence on YouTube. And they really had nothing. They really didn't want to do shit with that channel. And I kept saying, you know what? it'll help you get more noticed. And because I have a background with video production. I have a background with online digital media. And I know I've talked about that a few times in videos like this. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. But for somebody to tell me work for subs is fucking stupid. Because A, you don't tell that to a lot of people on YouTube. You don't. B, I almost quit this fucking channel because of that bullshit I went through. The only reason why I didn't was because of a short I put on there. And I put it on there just for laughs. But it was a YouTube short I put on my channel around Thanksgiving. And I put it on there for grins and giggles. And in the YouTube short, I went and I was in ShopRite with my dad. And we saw this Entenmann's pecan pastry. And my dad and I, we kind of always debate on how do you say the word pecan? Do you say pecan or pecan? My dad, he always says pecan. I say pecan. And I always make the joke, Emeril Lagasse made this joke very famous back in the 90s when he would do like recipes with pecans. He would always say, oh, put these pecans in. Only truck drivers call them pecans. Which I always make a joke about because my father is a retired truck driver. Now, the reason why this is pissing me off is those two, and then there is a third in this, okay? The third is, yes, I work on this. I do. I do work on this. Like, every time I'm about to do a video, I map out a lot of stuff. And there are some videos I have done where they've been epic fails, where they've come from an epic fail, I should say. Like, for instance, my Christmas in Philly videos originally started because I was down in Philly and I was going to walk around the city and I was going to try and find some interesting things. The one thing I was trying to find was the building that was used as the house on the MTV show The Real World. I know I probably wouldn't have been able to get in there because now it's like a business. But it would have been neat to just do the outside of it because that area has a lot of history to it. And I was gonna kind of tie it into the rest of the area because I know Ephraim's Alley was near there. There was there was like a cemetery there where Ben Franklin was buried, etc., etc., etc. And since I didn't find that, I started doing more stuff. That's how I ended up going. I realized, you know what? There was some Christmas stuff, so that's why I ended up going down to Macy's in Center City, doing stuff in Macy's, doing stuff at Christmas Village, doing stuff at the Comcast complex. It pretty much went from there. And that video, it was like 3 different videos. I spent practically the entire afternoon in Philadelphia. I left Bucks County around 11:30. And because I missed the train from Lower Bucks County into Center City, I said about it in the first video, I took the 66. I actually asked my father to do me a favor, drop me off in Morell Park, which is like, and the stop's right at Frankfurt and Knights. I took the 66 from Frankfurt and Knights down to the terminal in the Frankfurt section of Philadelphia, which, that's a really rough area. Okay? And then I took the Market Frankfurt line from there down to Fifth and Market. And that probably took, I'm going to say, maybe 15, 20 minutes more than had I taken the train from where I live in Lower Bucks County, because I have 2 train stations within 5 minutes of me, straight down to about Penn Suburban Station or Jefferson Station. So I get there maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock, give or take, and I spent the whole afternoon there. I spent that whole time there filming. I went through, I walked around Old City a little bit, trying to find the Railroad House. Couldn't. Did the video at Macy's. So that was probably about, I would say, hour or so of filming. Then I went over across the street is from the Macy's in Center City is City Hall. And I spent maybe another 25, 30 minutes at City Hall and Dilworth Plaza, walking around Christmas Village. And then the big one was, of course, when I did stuff around the Comcast complex. And, I couldn't obviously film inside Universal Sphere. I mentioned that in the video. But, I did a lot there. So I spent pretty much the entire afternoon in Philadelphia. I didn't get home. I got on the train, I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't get back to Bucks County until maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock. I got home, and first thing I do when I got home, obviously had dinner, and then I went and edited. I was doing 3 separate videos. The editing could take like maybe an editing session on, like, say, this kind of video will probably take a few minutes, because it's a matter of getting like the intro, the outro, this. But like a video of that magnitude can take maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I mean, a lot of professionals that are using Final Cut or Adobe Premiere can take longer. And depending on how much they film, they could take almost the entire day editing. Since I have a rough idea of what I want to do, and I kind of have, like, either I have notes on my phone, or I will have like an idea in my head of what I want to film when I do those kind of videos. It cuts my time down a bit. And I use iMovie. So that right there, I mean, I could do like some pretty good professional quality stuff with iMovie. And I've used other apps before. I forgot the one I always used, but I used this one, and it was from an Australian company, and I liked it, but I find sometimes iMovie is just a little more simpler. especially when it comes time to render the final product. And rendering the final product is basically where you take that rough, that edited video in iMovie, Adobe Premiere, or whatever, and you export it, which is you take that project you worked on, export it to make it to where you can upload it to YouTube. That's basically just what I mean by rendering. And the rendering can take, depending on the video, the amount of footage, can take half hour. My random Bristol video, it took, I think it took about close to 2 hours just to render it in iMovie. And, so while that's rendering, I'll start working on writing the YouTube channel description. And that's just easy. Just pull out the notepad document, pull out I'm trying to think what do I always use? Because I think I mostly use Notepad, but I've also used an app called Pages, which is actually, it's an Apple app. It's part of their iWork suite, and it's kind of like their version of like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. Or sometimes I'll just pull out my Chromebook and start working on it while it's exporting in iMovie on my Mac. Just to kind of make it easier on myself. But anyway, so that could take about anywhere from, I'm going to say, 20 or 30 minutes to up to 2 or 3 hours, depending on the amount of work. So when that's done, then you got to upload it to YouTube. Uploading it to YouTube can take anywhere from a few minutes to maybe an hour or so, give or take, depending on several factors. One, the length of the video, the file size of the video. That's the big one. And also your connection speed. Your connection speed may or may not be a factor, because I have the fastest internet connection you can get with Verizon Fios, and I've had YouTube videos where I've uploaded and it's taken maybe 20 minutes, 10, 20 minutes or so. I've had them where it's taken longer than that. And a lot of it too is also because of YouTube itself, because with YouTube, what it does is it'll have it where you'll upload the video, it'll finish uploading, and it shows you the progress. Because in YouTube Studio, and if you're a YouTuber watching this, you know what I'm talking about. In YouTube Studio, you'll see the dialog box that will show the progress, and it'll tell you, don't close it out until that progress thing gets to 100%. So, you leave it open, it does its thing, and then if you don't close it out when it reaches 100%, you'll see the thing where it says processing, and it just goes through a whole thing where because YouTube, it'll process it in standard definition, but if you also edit in a higher definition, like most of my stuff I do is like, I go low end high def for the sake of people with slower internet connections. And the reason why I do that is because I came of age when dial-up was a big thing, okay? I did not get high-speed internet until maybe a year after I graduated college. And the reason why was because I moved and it was cheaper to get broadband internet than put in another phone line for a dial-up connection. So anyway, I would say that, like, for me, that whole process would take maybe another hour or so after uploading, because it'll go through the whole thing where it'll process it in SD, standard definition, but then it'll process it in high definition. Most of my videos are at the max 1020, or is it 1020 or 1040? 1040. I'm sorry, 1040. You know, I studied this stuff in college. You'd think I would know. And the reason why I do that is out of consideration for people with slower internet. So I don't do 4K. And 4K too is a problem. I talked about this very briefly in my Random Bristol video. If, like, GoPro users, because I have the GoPro Hero 7. GoPro users, we find that 4K will suck the battery life of that camera. And the Hero 7 is an internal battery, so I can't swap out batteries. And also, the memory card won't hold as much if you do 4K. And I can't use like a regular random SD card, or micro SD, I should say, for the Hero 7 in that GoPro. I have to use a special kind of micro SD card. And, you know, it's not like I have a bunch of them on hand. So, yeah. And plus, I use multiple cameras. So, like the Philly videos, let's use that as an example. There are a couple of them that I did on the GoPro, and then there is one I did on my PowerShot. So I have to swap between memory cards in my card reader to edit these videos, okay? So you're talking maybe, well, that doesn't take long, but with the whole process, you're talking a couple of hours if you're doing multiple video shoots in one day. Okay, so we got to editing, we got to uploading. Promotion. Since I am not an influencer, and since I do not have a big PR team, everything is a solo in-house thing with me. And here is what I mean by that. I have a Twitter account. I have an Instagram. I have this thing called Mastodon. I have a Facebook page and it's all for the channel. Although my Twitter and the Mastodon, I do post some random shit on there. Like, I know there was a Robert Pattinson joke I found once on Twitter a day or two ago, and I shared it. Or, like, I found stuff related to the midterm elections. I'll share it on it. Okay? So, you go on this, or the laptop, or the Chromebook. You go into every platform, and you got to create something. Now, thankfully, I have this down to a science, because I have worked in digital organizing as, because I've done digital media organizing on a volunteer basis with the PA Dems, the New Jersey Democrats, the DNC, and I was actually a part of that group that posted a lot of those crazy ass memes during the Pennsylvania Senate race in 2022 with the Fetterman campaign. So I have this down to a science, but still, it takes a while because here you are, you have to either come up with the graphics, whether it be photos that you took, screenshots, maybe make your own graphics, and you gotta upload them to the platform, write the content, and pray to God it takes a while, because I've actually had it a couple times where I have uploaded something to Instagram and it took a while. I've had it where Twitter's been doing it a lot, thanks Elon. But yeah, for that YouTuber to say work for subs for me is bullshit. There's those three things I mentioned, but I'm going to add a fourth. And here's number 4. My life is crazy right now. I came off an injury recently. In September, I was doing my little walk around video in Bristol, which was Lions Park, around the Bristol waterfront area. And I ended up tripping on a piece of uneven concrete and ended up with an avulsion fracture. I was in an orthopedic boot for 2 months. Get out of the boot. I end up tripping again. And this time it was in a pothole. A very small pothole. Sprained my knee. I just got past all those injuries. But now I'm dealing with some other health issues. I know I've mentioned a few times about how I have an eating disorder and everything. I relapsed recently. And my relapse caused some issues. I also have an autoimmune disease that is slowly killing off my thyroid. It's called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And I went to the doctor today. My thyroid levels are in an underactive stage, which is causing a problem because I am between the eating disorder and the Hashimoto's. I just put myself in a situation where I am anemic now. I mean, I have a very fortunate thing in the sense that, like, my hemoglobin, which is the red blood cells, is within normal range. But, like, my iron saturation and my fermin levels, which are the two that really, really do define iron deficiency anemia, they are extremely low. I am about to have to undergo a series of iron infusions. And the last time I had to do this, which was right before the pandemic, I had to undergo a series of 5. So you think about that. And anemia and the fact that the Hashimoto's got that bad are not a good thing because it zaps your energy very badly. Okay? So to say work for subs when I am doing all this work I mentioned and I am dealing with a major medical issue is bullshit. Okay? So, here's all I have to say to people like this. Kiss my ass. Okay? Kiss my ass. And the reason why is because I am working for this. I am working my ass off. And I have proof of this because like I said, I use Instagram a lot to promote my channel. And I actually just went and I finally got my login back on my phone because I have a new phone. I have about 8,000 followers on my Instagram alone. So you think about this, people. I'm working really hard for this, even though I'm also rather sick at the same time. So next time somebody says, in whether it be a YouTube short or even in like their longer videos, like, comment, subscribe, or subscribe to my channel. I know Philly Captain, who I absolutely love, he uses subscribe to my channel a lot. He actually sometimes even uses it in the very beginning, which I should really do, because he actually raised the point, who watches till the end? And yeah, but when somebody says that, don't comment work for it, because of one reason. We are working for it. Unless you are like an Emmy made in Japan, or I'm trying to think who else is really big right now, like a Casey Neistat type, where you have a huge cult following to begin with. You are doing everything from research to editing to promotion. I mean, a lot of these bigger YouTubers do a lot of the work I do, but for them it's easier because they have the base. They already have the fan base in there. And for somebody like me who is having a slow increase in subscribers, it's more, I have to work twice as hard. I am working twice as hard, but at the same time too, I'm dealing with health issues. So please, do not make a comment about working for subscribers, because of one reason. You don't know how hard a YouTuber is working for subscribers. And you don't know about that YouTuber's backstory. They could have either health issues like myself, or they could work like a really intense job at the same time. Like I met a YouTuber when I was doing my Philly videos who, she worked for Comcast Universal. She was like really cool. I wish I got her username though. But so it's not like a lot of us can do this as our sole main employment. Okay? And that's all I have to say. Hopefully I'm going to be doing some more videos soon. I do want to do one in particular because the Philadelphia International Auto Show is in a couple of weeks. And I do want to get down to Philly for that. And, I've actually been talking to my father about about going, because I noticed that in a lot of the videos that he's in with me, people really get a kick out of some of the shit he says. And he knows it too, because I actually told him. So who knows? Maybe if I do it, I'll have special appearance by my dad again. But yeah, I want to do that. And I want to do a couple of other different videos here and there. And, but it's going to be a tough one because of the fact that I'm dealing with a lot of issues with my health right now. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody who has subscribed so far. I'm working my hardest on getting more content. So yeah, keep liking, keep putting comments in, especially the nice comments. I love the nice comments. I love some of the ones that are a little more sarcastic. My friend Roy put one in my coffee bomb video. So, and it was a little more of an inside joke. I love those too. Tell your friends and, subscribe to my social medias. I will definitely put like updates on how I'm doing in a lot of them. And thank you for just being a part of this. I really appreciate it. And till then, I'll see you on the flip side.